Hi everyone, welcome to Yoga with Valerie. I'm Valerie Anderson. Today we're going to work a little bit in all the body parts, all the way from the top of the head to the tip of the toes. We're going to go from seated to tabletop to standing and then a closing on our back. Please be mindful of where your body is today on your mat, which could be different than yesterday, which could also be different to tomorrow. So clearly pay attention to what's going on here so that all the poses work for you and you're not stressing any part of the body unnecessarily. You don't need props for this practice, but if you're used to having a blanket for underneath the knees or maybe under the bottom, or even having a block, if you don't have a block, you can also get a book and use that if that's accessible to you and you need it for your practice. We're going to start seated just as we are and take the right leg in front of the left leg instead of taking a stacking of the legs. Sit up nice and tall. If you're comfortable to close the eyes, feel free to do that. You can also simply send the gaze down to the ground. And take a couple of breaths here, not necessarily making them deeper or more full. Just noticing where the breath is going, how it feels, the quality of it. I always use this moment to start stripping away the morning, the day, whatever comes after this. Focus entirely on yourself while you're here on your mat. Gently blink the eyes open or bring the gaze upright. And from our seated position, we're going to take a couple of left and right stretches through the arms. Right hand plants out to your side. Inhale, reach up at the left. Exhale, lean to the right. Inhale, back to center. Exhale, set the palm down. Inhale, reach right. Exhale, lean to the left. Inhale, back to center. Exhale, set the hand down. Inhale, reach. Exhale, fold. Inhale. Exhale. Inhale, reach. Exhale, fold. Inhale. Exhale. Inhale, reach. Exhale, fold a little bit deeper. Inhale, bring it back to center. Exhale, set it down. Inhale, reach. Exhale, fold. Inhale. Exhale. Take 2 more rounds at your pace. Following your inhales and exhales, warming through the shoulders, through the neck, through the spine. And when you're all done with your second set in your time, bring it all down to seated and stillness. Hands come to the knees for seated cat and cow. On your inhale, shift the belly forward, chest comes with it, gaze goes up. Exhale, tuck the chin around the shoulders, through the spine to the pelvic, lean back. Inhale, pull it all forward from the tailbone to the belly, to the chest, to the chin. And then exhale to unwind, tucking the chin through the chest, belly, low back. And move forward and back in these cat and cow motions, growing the depth of how far you lean back and how much you arch to the spine. And also how deep you pull your chest forward, like the shoulders sink back behind you. And take one more round of your cat and your cow. before coming to stillness at the top of your mat, in your seat. Where we move into the neck, the right hand plants at your side, and then bring the left ear to the left shoulder. If this is too much for your neck, then you can bring your hand back in. If you want more for your neck, then you can lift the right hand and point away from you through the fingertips, and maybe even allowing the left hand to be a weight on top of the head. Release the hand, gently bring the head back to center, right hand comes back to the knee, left hand reaches out to your side, right ear comes down to your shoulder. And again, feel free to not have that left hand reaching out, or to deepen it by lifting the left hand, pointing through the left fingers, and maybe bringing the right hand to the top of the head, gently adding a little bit of weight. Release the hand from the top of the head, allow it to gently come back to center, release the left hand, both hands come back to the knees. Taking a seated camel, the hands are going to come behind you and the fingers are going to point away. You'll lean gently back on the fingers and the palms. This might be where your camel is at today, or if you'd like to take a deeper on an inhale, lift the chest, let the shoulders roll back behind you, tuck the blades towards the spine, lifting the chin a little bit higher. And if this is still not deep enough for you, you may lift up off the bottom. And if you're lifted up off the bottom, bring it back down. And gently allow the shoulders to roll back around, press into the palm to come back upright. And then moving into a tabletop, roll onto the knees and onto the palms. And generally allow the hips to come over the knees and then the wrists to be below the shoulders or slightly in front of it if it's better for your wrists. Taking a couple of shoulder blade push-ups. On our inhale, let the chest sink down, the shoulder blades squeeze towards one another. Exhale, pull the shoulder blades apart, arch through the upper back. Inhale, drop the chest, squeeze the blades towards one another. Exhale, press into the palm, pull the blades apart, arch between the shoulders. Inhale, squeeze. Exhale, press, expand. Inhale and exhale. Two more. Inhale. Exhale, get broad between the blades. Inhale, squeeze your deepest. Blades come towards the spine. Exhale, arch, press, widen. And then come to stillness at your mat. Threading the needle, you can either sit back in a child's pose-like position or stay upright in your tabletop. On your inhale, reach up with the right palm. Exhale, thread underneath the left. And extend that left palm forward in front of you. Here you have the option of pressing the back of the right palm into the ground, pressing the left armpit towards the ground to open further through that back body and the shoulders. Bringing that left hand back towards your body and underneath your shoulder. Inhale, reach it up, right, unwind. Exhale, set it down. Moving off to the opposite side. Inhale, reach with the left. Exhale, thread it under. Back of the palm presses into the floor. Right palm reaches out and up and overhead. And your right armpit might sink closer to the ground. Slowly walk that right palm back underneath your shoulder. Press into the mat. Inhale, reach it up left. Exhale, set it back down to your tabletop where we're going to work through the core. You always have the option of extending right and left body parts and bringing them in together, Or you can move just the leg, or you can move just the arm. I'm going to move both the arm and the leg. Send the left leg out straight to prepare, and the right arm extends forward. On an inhale, lift long and flat, heel to thumb. Exhale, knee to nose, tuck it in. Inhale, reach. Exhale, knee to nose. Inhale, reach. Exhale, squeeze it in for 3. Inhale, reach. Exhale. Inhale, one more. Exhale, squeeze it in your tightest. Inhale to reach. Exhale, set it down so that we can move it off to the other side. Right leg extends behind you, left arm reaches out and away. Inhale, lift to prepare. Exhale, squeeze it in. Inhale, lift. Exhale, squeeze. Inhale, lift. Bring it in for 3. Inhale. Exhale. One more. Make it your strongest. Inhale, lift. Exhale, squeeze it in. Inhale, reach. And exhale, set it down. Take a child's pose. Knees go wide or stay together. Torso, belly comes down. Press back up through the palms to your tabletop, where we'll take our first downward facing dog of the practice. Tuck the toes, lift the knees, send the hips back, and adjust accordingly. You may want to wiggle into any part of the body. You can bend into one knee or the other, or both knees, and press the chest further down towards the ground. An option to sway the hips side to side. We'll find a little bit of stillness here. We should be in one flat, long line all the way from the back of the head to the tip of the tailbone. And then eventually the heels work themselves back down to the mat, where they may even stay lifted. Shift forward onto the knees, coming into a child's pose. Back up to tabletop. Tuck the toes, lift the knees, find your downward facing dog. You can continue to stretch and work in any direction that you need to, or you can find some stillness and work in quote-unquote perfecting your down dog. Take a bend in the knees and walk the feet to the top of your mat towards your hands. Stay in a forward fold for just a brief moment. On an inhale, lift up halfway, long to the back. And exhale, forward fold down again. Inhale, lift up halfway. Exhale, fold. Inhale, squeeze through the legs. Engage from heel to thigh to hip as you inhale, reach, bring it all the way up to standing. And then exhale, the hands come to heart center. We'll take 2 rounds of our sun salutation, left and a right side. Top of your mat, standing tall in Tadasana. Inhale, reach to the arms. Exhale, forward fold down. Inhale, halfway lift. Exhale, plant the palms, step back, right foot, drop the back knee, toes. Inhale, rise up, low lunge. Exhale, plant the hands, step back to either knee or to plank. And then shift forward, lower down to the belly. Inhale, find a back bend. Exhale, lower it down, press into the palm, knees or plank, downward facing dog. Inhale, reach to the left leg. Exhale, Bring it forward, top of the mat. Even if you have to wiggle those toes to get it forward. Drop the back knee and the toes. Inhale, rise up, low lunge. Exhale, plant the palm, lift the toes and knees, step forward, top of your mat. Inhale, halfway lift. Exhale, fold. Inhale, reach all the way back up to standing. And exhale, hands come to the heart center. Another round. Inhale, reach. Exhale, hinge from the hips, fold. Inhale, halfway lift. Exhale, plant the hands, step back left foot, drop the knee and tuck the toes. Inhale, rise up, low lunge. Exhale, plant the palms, step back to knees or to plank. Shift forward, lower down to the belly. On an inhale, find your back bend. Press the pelvic into the ground. Exhale, forward fold. Press the palms in, knees or to plank. Downward facing dog. Inhale, reach through the left leg. Exhale, bring knee to nose. Step it forward. Even if you have to wiggle it, drop the back knee and tuck the toes. Inhale, low lunge. Exhale, plant the hands, tuck the toe, lift the knee, step forward, top of the mat. Inhale, halfway lift. Exhale, forward fold. Inhale, rise all the way up to standing. And exhale, bringing your hands to heart center. Coming into our standing sequence, allow for the right knee to either kickstand straight forward or bring it up to 90 degrees if you want a little bit more core and belly. Send that tailbone down towards the ground. Stand tall. And if you fall out of the balance, get back in. Try lowering the legs. Pick a point somewhere in front of you that's not moving and focus there. And then no matter how high your right leg is lifted, start to shift the foot back behind you. The foot might be tucked high near the bottom or might even be dragging on the ground. Either way, as you punch that right foot back, let the torso come forward as a counterbalance and bend slowly into that left knee until you can set that right foot back behind you. And if it wasn't quite far enough for your high lunge, then move that foot back and then find a firm foundation. Nice strong front knee tracking with the toes over the ankle. Back foot is pressed against an imaginary wall behind you. Inhale, reach the arms up. Exhale. Inhale, stand, point through the fingers. Exhale, open up to your warrior two. Find your strong base through the legs, grounded down, and then lift up through the head and allow the shoulders to sink away from the ears. Arms go along at your side. Gaze comes over that front palm. Inhale, flip the palm, reach up. Exhale, bend behind you. Inhale, bring it back to your warrior two. Coming into extended side angle, front left forearm comes to that thigh knee area, back arm sweeps around. Option also to go long with that left arm against the inner leg on the left side, pressing knee and arm into one another. Inhale, bring it back up to your warrior two. Exhale, windmill the arms down, coming into a runner's lunge. This might be where your hip stretch is today. You can also allow that left foot to wiggle out to the side, coming into a lizard pose. You can drop the back knee and toes or keep them lifted. And from here, make this lizard your own by either coming down to the forearms directly forward, or if you feel like wandering your lizard today, you can also walk the hands out to your right side. The left foot does not need to stay planted on the ground. You can open it up and off and then allow that left knee to come open to the side. Let the head relax. Press the top of that right back foot into the mat. And remember where you are on your lizard as we'll take that off to the other side. If your foot is lifted, bring it back to the mat. If your arms wandered off to the right, bring them back to center and then wiggle that left foot between them. You're going to tuck those back toes and lift through that knee. Option to take a standing splits or just simply walk that foot forward, lean forward and step it in one big step or several steps. On an inhale, halfway lift. Exhale, forward fold down. Inhale to rise. And exhale, hands come to heart center. Taking that all off onto the other leg. Kickstand through the left. Option to bring the knee all the way up to 90 degrees. Take that tailbone and send it down towards the ground. Stand tall. Find a balancing point. Something to stare at. And whether your foot is lifted barely off the ground or all the way up high, start to let that left foot come behind you. Either dragging it across the mat or allowing it to stretch high and behind you while you bend into that right knee and slowly set that left foot down. And if it wasn't far enough for a high lunge, go ahead and scoot it back a bit further. Create that stable base with the knee over the ankle. Back foot is pressed against an imaginary wall. Long straight leg behind you. Inhale, reach the arms up. And exhale. Inhale, long through the legs. Reach to the fingertips. Exhale. Open up to your warrior two on your opposite side. Firm up through the ground, through your base. Relax through the shoulders. Gaze goes over that front palm. On an inhale, flip the front palm. Exhale, reach up and back behind you. Inhale, return to your warrior. Extended side angle. Front forearm comes to that front knee. Sweep the arm down and around. Option to open up that right arm to that inner leg. Inhale, bring it all back to your warrior two. Exhale, windmill the arms down. Frame that front foot. Back foot swivels around. Coming into our lizard pose. Whatever you did on the first side, if your knee was down, after you moved your leg out to the side, did you come down to your forearms? Test that out. Maybe you walked your lizard out wide. Take it to the left this time. Perhaps you even let the foot come off the mat and the knee go wide on the right side. Press that left top of the foot into the ground. Relax the neck to the shoulders. From wherever you at, start to unwind. Bring the palms back to center. The foot eventually wiggles in. The hands plant down to frame it. And when you find yourself ready, tuck the back toes, lift the back knee, and either simply step forward or take your time lifting the foot, lifting the leg, bringing it all to the top of the mat. And on an inhale, long flat back. Exhale, forward fold. Inhale, reach all the way up to standing. Exhale, bring the hands to heart center. Moving our way down to the floor. Option to either keep the heels lifted or to keep them down the ground. Either way, if you'd like to take a wider stance of the feet for a stronger base, you can. Start to bend into the knees until you get to that sticking point where you start to lose the balance. Maybe you're not feeling as strong today. Allow the palms to reach forward to counter the bottom. And then send the knees wide as if you're going into butterfly. And then plop down onto the bottom. And even if it wasn't a gracious plop, that's okay. From our seat, roll onto the knees and come into a tabletop-like position where we're going to take hare pose before we close. In hare pose, you're going to let the top of the head, the crown, the
flattest part to come down to the mat. You're going to have to tuck the chin up. And this might be your hair pose today. The hips are more or less over the knees, maybe even set a little bit back. And if this is uncomfortable for the neck, you can have it lifted higher by placing a block or those books, or even your blanket underneath. If you'd like to open to the chest, get a little stretch of the arms and sweep the arms behind you. Option to grab onto a wrist or the other, maybe even fold the forearms together. And the extended version is to lace up the fingers, palms meet or not, and keeping a bend in the elbows, allow the arms to reach up, maybe overhead. Remembering to stay on the top of the head, not the forehead, not the backside, the nice, flat, stable crown. And wherever you are at in your hair pose, allow yourself to unwind, perhaps bring the arms around and down. And then the hands drape onto the mat and we fall into a child's pose with either their arms stretched out straight overhead or even sweep back behind us. Bring the arms forward if they aren't already, and then press into the palms so you can come upright into a tabletop. And allow the ankles to either sweep left or right, sit onto a bottom, and then roll forward to allow yourself to come to a seated position. From here, you can come to a strong boat pose with the torso and chest lifted, and allow yourself to sink down, legs and torso at the same time. Or if you've had enough for today, you can simply just find yourself onto your back. Either way, take your time in getting there. Adjust accordingly. We'll take a gentle twist into the spine as we're lying here. Bend into the knees, bring the feet to the mat. You can take a crossing with the legs if you'd like, or keep them parallel. If you take a crossing, the right is going to go over the left leg. And then allow your knees to fall off to the left side and the arms come out to a T. Gaze goes over that right shoulder. Adjust your twist so that you feel relaxed in it, that you're not compromising your comfort, and you're laying deep into it. Gently bring the knees back upright. If you took a crossing of the legs, switch your crossing. Left is going to go over the right leg, and then you'll take the knees off to the right side. Gaze goes over that left shoulder. Walk it all back up to center, pressing into the feet. And then uncross the legs if you had them crossed. And take a happy baby with the feet stretch up towards the ceiling, and you can grab onto any part that's accessible, the inside, outside of the feet, the ankles, the shin calf. And whatever you've grabbed onto, you have the choice of staying still, rocking side to side, gently pulling one knee deeper into the armpit, releasing, pulling the other knee into the armpit, releasing, maybe even extending straight through one leg and then the other. If there's any other movements you'd like to take in your practice, feel free to do so. You can also stay here in your happy baby enjoying that motion. I thank you for sharing your practice with me today. I hope you enjoyed this little nugget of head to toe. Wherever you are in a closing pose or your happy baby, start to slip into your Shavasana. Extend through the heels, wiggling your thigh bones out of the pelvic, and then letting the pelvic sink down into the floor. Arms go long and straight at the sides, about 45 degrees, palms come up. Allow the backs of the shoulders to sink in. Let the ground support you. And I welcome you to stay as long as you feel you need to in this Shavasana. However much time you have to give. Draw all that attention inward and keep your focus there. Enjoy the rest of your day. Namaste.